All right, guys, I've been looking forward to this. A lot of my fans have been looking forward to this. Those that are watching me for Star Citizen are very much looking forward to this game. A lot of you know about this game. I want to talk a little bit about what is in store for you in Flight Simulator. Microsoft's Flight Simulator 2020 looks fantastic. I don't know if you guys have seen the graphics yet, but it is so beautiful. Also wants me to get a Thrustmaster and get back to my HOTAS once again. But let's watch this developer video, which is about 8 minutes long, and they talk about airports, and we'll talk about it together as we watch. Looks fascinating. Wow.
Hi everyone, and welcome to this new episode of the Feature Discovery series. I am Sven Mestas, lead game designer at Asobo Studios. In this episode, I'm going to talk about airports in the new Microsoft Flight Simulator. First, I'll begin by presenting how we are covering the various types of airports, both geographically.
Don't worry, it gets more interesting. It gets much more interesting.
And by scale. Then, I'll explain the work pipeline to treat each of these airports from being aerials to their final state in Flight Simulator. Finally, I'll present to you airport life and talk about services, ground traffic, and air traffic. The previous version of Microsoft Flight Simulator, FSX, simulated more than 24,000 airports. The new Flight Simulator features all the airports in the world, including 37 manually edited airports.
That's ridiculous. 37,000 manually edited airports. 37,000 airports in the game.
This coverage begins at small countryside.
Wow, look at that.
All the way to huge international airports.
That's real. That looks like real footage.
Geographically, you'll find airports all over the world, nestled on small islands, adjacent to major cities.
It's ridiculous.
And on mountainsides. North and South America, Europe, Africa, Asia, and Oceania.
Did you see that storm? Did you see that storm? Holy mother. That looks amazing. Wow. Wow. From small strips to huge international airports, man.
Before editing airports, we needed to first create a database. We started from the FSX collection and decided to add more airports to give better coverage and a larger amount of locations to explore. After lots of triage and selection, we edited 37,000 airports.
Wow,
in order to reach a new level of reality in flight simulation, we needed a new approach. That's why we decided to.
So Microsoft has actually mapped the Earth, by the way. So this is real data, real satellite imaging that they're using. And, you know, it's all geographically correct.
To innovate by editing airports from real aerials and satellite pictures. This technique involves editing each airport manually, which means particular attention to details has been given to every single one of them, to bring them a step closer to reality. This work has never been done at this scale, and that's why we needed to create a specific tool for developers to handle airport editing.
So this tool that they created, it edits the satellite image. It gives each airport additional detail and information like how each airport taxis their planes. It defines materials for runways, their effects on landing your plane, the colors, the contrast, and smaller details like windsocks and taxi signs and vehicles and light generation are all added by artists. It's insane.
Now, I'll take you through this edition process. This pipeline has been used for every single airport. Step 1 is to trace logical elements straight on the Bing map aerial.
I mean, that is in the game. Look at that. Would you look at that? That is fantastic.
We begin by drawing the airport perimeter, which will force the building
so here they're showing the tool
when it will occur. Next, we draw the runway with as much accuracy as available by defining its real length and width. Its orientation will determine its numerical markings.
Look at that.
According
wow.
to magnetic north. After that, we define taxiways based on the real ones, which will be used for ground traffic, air traffic, ATC, and simmers. We place the parking spots at the exact same place of the existing ones. Finally, we reproduce markings on the apron. The second part is defining surfaces. According to the observed material on Bing aerials...
Right, Jared? Jared's like, as a real-life pilot and aircraft owner, I gotta say, I'm stoked about FS 2020. I am too. I am too, Jared. I've been a FS and X plane user forever, and this blows my mind. Yeah, this is going to be, I think, the best flight simulator ever. I really do. I think this is going to be next level amazingness. I really, really do, Jared. Yeah, this is going to be real flight as well, Jay. Jay's asking. Yes, it is.
Its surfaces. It can be grass.
I mean, you can have that option.
Concrete, dirt, etc. This process allows us to capture the real identity of the runway and to apply accurate materials onto it. Of course, it leads to different behaviors, impacting the landing gear grip, for instance.
That's what I find interesting is like the actual materials or the terrain where you're flying down and landing, whether it's a pad or a dirt road or a grass patch, affects how your plane lands. Also with weather, which is really a nice feature. Those are great features.
Visual artifacts on the grass, such as planes, we draw perimeters to remove them. The final part is the post-processing. These steps are automatically performed by our algorithms. The runway slope is applied for chart references. Materials are applied on generated objects, allowing us, for instance, to see reflections on runways, wet materials, tire marks, etc. The visual artifacts on concrete are automatically removed.
Like Slim is saying in chat right now. He's played all of them, and he said, this is awesome, and I can't wait to try it in VR. Oh, that just got me really excited.
Contrast and colors are adjusted to match real life. Names are
I don't think you can walk around yet, Chris, like in the airport. They do add some pretty interesting realism, to make you feel like you're like human, which is they add ambient life with vehicles and drivers in the vehicles and workers that walk along and baggage carts and fuel trucks and services when you're parked, so there's some kind of elements of the gameplay that make you feel like you're in the plane, but they don't have, a body moving around where you can walk out and go over and grab some lunch in one of the airports, that would be the ultimate. That would be the ultimate. No, I don't have Oculus. Chris is asking if I have Oculus. No, I would love it. I would love it though.
Animated windsocks.
Maybe I should save up for it. Well. This is amazing, like the wind, like the old flight simulator. Wind obviously is going to affect your flight. Wind and weather.
We also improved the light generation by having them spawning along the runways and taxiways.
Look at that. Oh, man. You should see some of these shots. I think they get into it, but some of these like areas, like just amazing. The realism when you're flying around, it looks so real playing this game.
Because some airports deserve more attention, we made a selection of 80 airports based on the most played and busiest ones. We gave these airports more realism by naming the taxiways and signs according to official IDs and providing them more accurate surface definition. Beyond that, in order to take things further, we created a top-level category. We defined a final selection made of iconic airports and dressed them up to reach a new level of realism in flight simulation. We created and placed unique buildings and props matching reality, transcribing their identity and their ambience, and we even terraformed some landscapes to nest them in their real environment.
Wow, that water! The texturing of the water is ridiculously insane.
Let's talk about airport life. Life is supported in every airport of the game according to the size. As in FSX, we kept the ambient ground traffic in airports, but we've made improvements. We filled airport parking lots with vehicles to provide a more realistic look. We tweaked vehicle behavior. They come and go on taxiways, but now they stop at all shots even if the runway is free, and they are able to turn on their lights at night. We included workers as well.
Yeah, this is what I was
They
talking
move
about,
between various
Chris.
points, bringing life to the apron. Services are now accessible from the ATC on a specific ground frequency. We kept services which were already set in FSX, but made various improvements. Gateways have new
Here's your
visuals and a
services.
more realistic way to attach exit doors, fitting more precisely with the fuselage.
I like that. Dude, that looks amazing. That looks so good. Hey, DY, welcome to the stream,
Pushback
man.
vehicles now feature drivers. The baggage service has workers
That looks
as well,
so slick.
and we set a realistic trail behavior on
That
baggage
looks
cars.
so slick. Microsoft's Flight
Fuel
Simulator
services
2020
have been
Anarchy.
improved as well.
So
When the fuel trucks
nice.
arrive,
Look at the lens
it
flares,
plugs
man.
itself to
Look
the
at that.
refueling hose. It automatically opens the fuel panel, allowing you to tweak your fuel settings. The same panel is open when you go to the fuel station with your aircraft. We added some services in order to allow you to complete your ground handling in a more realistic way.
Get out. Wow.
You can now call a ground power unit, which will be plugged into the aircraft through a cable. A ramp trunk is not available when you are on the right parking spot type.
Look at
We
that.
added as well an animated catering truck.
It's insanity, man. It's just insanity.
All of these services are now exposed in XML and are customizable using the SDK tools. Is it possible as well to
you can
create
actually
small scripted behaviors with
you can actually customize your own experience as well with the SDK tools for in an XML format, like, which is really just like such a cool feature.
your own objects and animations and to place them where you want?
That's so cool. That's so cool.
As you may have noticed, there are no parked planes all over the apron. These aircraft are actually part of the traffic. They can be called by the ATC, which means that they will perform some ground services on their own to get ready for a flight. They will then taxi to the hold short to queue before taking off. We hope you enjoyed this look into Microsoft Flight.
And they're talking about the multiplayer aspects of this as well, so that not only are you worried about the AI and the AI planes that are around there waiting to land because they're going through the cycle of landing and refueling and going through the services, but also also other pilots, gamers that log in as well. So this title really excites me. And I'm glad Erad tipped me off on this, because this is something I'm going to get, man. Just like chilling out, like looking at some of the shots. If you guys haven't seen it, I'm going to put some in the description below, because this is just looking amazing. Everything about this game is attractive to me. Everything about it. And, I should really talk to my friend Jiru, who I've known forever, because he works at Microsoft. He was involved with Forza. And I wonder if he's got any involvement with the Flight Sim 2020 happening here, because I'd really like to get an inside scoop from him. So I'll talk to him about it, see what if he's even involved with that in any way, and get any information that I can on this title. But wow, guys. Wow. It's just looking so good. Just looking so good.